Hello, and welcome back to Financial Freedom for the Average Person, the course. I'm Ova Vincent, and we're back in Florida now after a few days of travel. And today we're going to talk about credit cards and we're going to talk about credit ratings and good things like that. All right, first, credit cards. Uh, Love and hate. Right? First thing, right now I was just checking interest rates are over 24% on these things, and which basically means Rule 72, your debt can be doubled in just 3 years. The critical thing, if you have a credit card, if you want to use credit cards, you have to use them correctly, which means you need to pay them off every month. You need to avoid fees, and you need to watch them closely, make sure that nobody else is using your credit card. Uh, when you're going to get a credit card, one of the first things to do, it doesn't impact your credit rating, is go to the different banks and check and see what you're pre-approved for. American Express, Chase, Capital One, there's tons of banks. All of them have credit cards. All of them will do pre-approvals, and you'll know right off the bat. I like Doctor of Credit. I like NerdWallet. I've used those terms before. You can go and you can see what's available, what's good. I churn credit cards. I will probably go through, maybe four credit cards a year and get rid of them, add them. Chase has some of the best credit cards out there for travel and things to utilize. They do have a rule you can only have five credit cards in 24 months. So I always get the Chase cards first. Then I'll go for American Express, Capital One, whichever ones that intrigue me at the time. Now, the way that we do it is I use one primary card that gives us back cash. And I basically run everything through that. I don't carry any cash, pay my credit card off every month. But everything I'm going to buy on that card, and it's going to give me more than 2% back on every purchase. So that's just basically almost like increasing my income by 2%. And I try to avoid annual fees unless I'm getting it back and it's worth it. Travel cards are one of the cases where, in many ways, it's well worth it, to be paying an annual fee on a card. And we'll get more into that. Okay, so here's some ideas. Again, Doctor Credit, and this changes every month, almost weekly. But as of July 26th, these are the ones that I picked as the best cashback cards. It's two things. Each one is paying you 2%, and each one has no fee. Okay, and that's what ideally you want. Now for me, I pay the fees. Okay, so but I make up for it. So right now, my Bank of America Preferred Card, I get 2.66% on everything I spend, and 3.5 if I'm dealing with travel. So for every $1,000 I throw on that, I get $35. I run so much through, by the end of the year, we'll generate probably $2,000, which is what we used to pay for things around Christmas. But there's some rules to this one. You got to have it's a $95 fee, and then you have to have over $100,000 with Bank of America or their subsidies. Now, the travel card I use is the Capital One Venture X, $395 fee, but I get $400 back on travel and points. I get airport clubs. I get the primary rental car insurance, and also gives me the Hertz President Circle, which allows me to show up at the airport, walk over to Hertz, and just take a car. Kind of nice. All right, credit ratings and scores. So your scores go between 300 and 850, and I've given a breakout here. Really, you're looking 660 and above is kind of where you need to be for credit cards, loans, things like that. If you drop below, you're going to have a hard time getting credit. It's also going to cost you more. And there's a lot of things that impact your score. The biggest one is your payment history. Have you paid on time? How long have you paid on time? How much do you own? What's the length of the credit? Um, Credit mix is an odd one because you kind of get a little better score if you've got like an installment loan, like or a property loan, something like that, and credit cards. Like for us, we don't carry loans, haven't carried loans for 25 years. So I don't, so our scores actually get impacted a little bit because we don't have to make payments on these type things. And then recent applications also impacts our score because again, like I said, I'll churn credit cards and take advantage of things. How? Protect your credit. If you get a bill, don't just throw it away. If it's wrong, if address it, get a hold of them, discuss it. If you disagree with it, negotiate with them. Uh, eh, if it's too much, you think you're overcharged, negotiate it down, but be in contact. What you don't want to do is you don't want things turned over to collection agencies. Because once you do, one of the first things they're going to do is they're going to report that to the credit bureaus. And my experience, doctors are the absolute worst ones. They do so much damage to people by just there's a bill and you ignored it, and it may not even be a correct bill, but automatically their system after 60, 90 days will send that to a collection agency and it'll show up on your credit rating um, very, very quickly. And now you got to get it off the credit rating, and that is much more difficult than just fixing it to begin with. Check your score often. You look mistakes. There's always plenty, and you got to correct errors and resolve issues. The credit bureaus make it pretty easy, and we'll talk about them. Watch your credit card statement. Make sure that nobody is doing any, has got some fraudulent statements on there. You're protected as long as you notify the credit card issuing agency in a timely manner. So if it's like a couple, 3 months after there's a charge, that's timely. That won't be a problem. If it's a year after, that's a problem. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And a lot of people don't do this, but it's very simple to freeze your credit with the three bureaus, and then unfreeze it when you're going to apply for a credit card. It's free. It's free. It's simple to do. We keep ours locked up half for years, and that's just one less way people can get in and steal your identity. All right, so we're going to get into exercise 14. This one's going to deal with credit rating in the bureaus. And we're going to start with Credit Karma, and I'll show you their site. And then I'll show you the sites to go to. In each of those, you can file in and see what your credit scores are and things like that. So the three rating agencies are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. All three of them, by law, are required to give you a full credit report if on your requesting once a year. And so all of them should be about the same. Used to be I would wait till December and I'd pull all three. And anymore, I will just randomly, sometime during the year, go into one of them and pull one. Then a few months later, maybe I'll pull another one in. Some months later, I'll pull it in. And usually I'm going to do that when I'm questioning credit cards or if I'm seeing something changing in my credit score. Okay. And then anything you see in there that's wrong, there's easy ways to get it fixed. It may take a while, but there are easy ways to get it fixed. All right, here's Credit Karma, one of our favorite sites. And if you go into there, it's free. They're going to try to push you to credit cards. They're going to give you some information, but they're going to give you a score. It's not your actual exact score, but they're going to give you a lot of information, and you can also for free kind of keep track of what's going on with you. So I like them. I like free, and it's a good thing to have. The three agencies. First one I got up here is Experian. You can see on there you got your free credit report, and um, if you look over in the middle, you can see in there it has the security freeze listed. So that is where you would click, and you can put a freeze, remove a freeze, and that is free. So use it, do it. Okay. Equifax is another one here, and you can see again, these just go to the sites, you can sign up, a wealth of information. They will all try to sell you for some credit monitoring program. You don't need to do that. All the basic information on these sites is completely free to you. And the third one is TransUnion. And again, you can see it here. Uh, you know, free credit reports, free credit score, and personalized offers. Usually, they want to charge you something for that credit score. But like if you sign up for a free trial of the program, which I don't recommend, they'll give you your credit score in addition to your credit report, which they're required to give you by law. So don't think they're doing that just for free. They have no choice. But all three sites are pretty good. You need to get used to them. And I hope as you're getting through all the courses that we're doing here, you can get an idea. You can take responsibility for yourself in this, and you have a lot of power. Okay, if you're just getting into these agencies, you're going to know so much more than the average person about what your situation is. Okay, bottom line. Credit cards, very valuable tools, but only if you use them correctly. Credit card debt you can't carry it. At 24% and higher, it will kill you. So you have to have the discipline to be able to use the card and pay it off, or the discipline that you're just going to use debit cards or whatever and not deal with it. And I haven't talked about debit cards. Those are linked to your checking account directly. And the more and more now, there are some banks that are actually giving you bonuses back for using debit cards. So if you can't use a credit card, go with a debit. But the credit cards are one way that you actually can kind of control your expenses and increase your income. So use them with cash management flow. And then lastly, protect your credit. Okay, check what's going on with it. Use the three agencies. Freeze it when you're not using it, and you find out that as you get through and you start doing all these things, your expenses are starting to come under control, and now you're going to have a lot more money. And now that lets you save for the retirement, lets you save for the new car, lets you avoid the loans. So hopefully all this is helping put this together. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll be back with another video soon.